Social technologies. So, social technologies is a combine of two words, which is social and technologies. So, first, what is social? Social, based on what I've searched and found on Google, the definition of social is someone or something that enjoys being with others or has to do with people living or gathering in groups. In other words, or to understand it better, social is human or the people. And an example of social is a group of people laughing and chatting together, which you can see in the picture below. Now, let's talk about the word technologies. Technology is the use of scientific knowledge for practical purposes or application, either in industry or in our everyday lives. Almost all of us is very dependent on technology, and we could always see the technology wherever place we go. We can find it in our homes, in the street, in our workplace, or everywhere. Technology is just everywhere. So, technology is the way we apply scientific knowledge for practical purposes. It includes machines or electronic, but that's just most modern technology. An example of technology is a gadget, and a hammer is an example of technology, but it's just an early human technology. Types of technology. These are the types of technology: mechanical, electronics, industrial and manufacturing, and medical technology. Mechanical technology, things that turn or allow motion in one direction to cause a different kind of motion, are mechanical, which includes wheels and engines, which you can see in the picture. Next is electronics. This is the type of technology that we're almost familiar with in modern life, which is electronic technology, usually just called electronics, which is a complex form of technology that uses electric circuits to achieve a goal. Anything that runs on electricity is electronic. This includes computers, washing machine, dryers, MP3 players, televisions, anything you plug into the wall outlet is kind of electronic. In the picture, these are kinds of gadgets. Next is industrial and manufacturing. It's technology with the goal of either producing a product on a large scale or performing another large scale function where customers are not directly present. An example of this could be smart factories. Next, medical technology is technology that serves the purpose of diagnosing, treating, or preventing disease. This can include things like MRI scanner, which are images of the inside of human body, ventilators, which help people to breathe, or even simply drugs and medicines that people take to make them better, are medical technology. Social technology is any technology that facilitates social interactions and is enabled by communications capability such as the internet or a mobile device that we are using. In modern understanding of it, it is defined as digital technologies used by people to interact socially, to create, enhance, and exchange content. Social technology could be applied for various purposes such as decision making, gaining and sharing information, and of course for communication purposes. Examples are social software which includes wikis, blogs, and social networks, and communication capabilities which we are all using is messenger that are targeted to enable social interaction by using it for communicating with our loved ones. That's all. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Ann Mae Fuentes. And my topic for today is social capital. What is social capital? Social capital is defined by the OECD as networks together with shared norms, values, and understanding that facilitate cooperation within or among groups. Social capital is positive. There is an inclination to be cooperative and collaborative. For organization, this can result in problem solving, creativity, and innovation that would not be possible if people did not work together. And social capital also relates to norms, social norms, and belonging that can positively related to motivation with important consequences for productivity and efficiency. It has been approached from many different theoretical perspectives, so there are different approaches to understand. For example, there is debate about whether social capital is the values, attitudes, and beliefs such as norms, trust, belongings, and etc. or the outcome of these mental constructions. So, depending on the perspective, an example of social capital could be trust, or it could be someone being trusted or trustworthy. Does social capital need to be realized to exist? For many authors, social capital is the potential or likelihood of certain outcomes that arise because of people's values, attitudes, and beliefs. It is useful to consider example at different levels of social capital, individual, group, and societal levels. Next is benefits of social capital. It allows a society or organization such as a corporate corporation or a non-profit to function together as a whole through trust and shared identity norms, values, and mutual relationships. But put simply, social capital benefits society as a whole through social relationship. Next is there are three types of social capital. First is bonding social capital. Bonding refers to social capital create within a group with shared interests and goals. A neighbor association is an example of how bonding works. Next is bridging social capital. Bridging, on the other hand, is the creation of social capital across the groups. When bridging is successful, individuals in the two groups discover shared interests and goals and work together to achieve them. A neighborhood association that links up with the local police department is an example of how bridging works. Next is a linking social capital. A type of social capital that describes norms of respect and networks of trusting relationships between people who are interacting across explicit, formal, or institutionalized power or authority uh, authority gradients in society. In linking social capital this is the third type of social capital that extends the common bonding or bridging distinction that is popular in the network theory approach to social capital. The bonding or bridging distinction has roots in network analysis, is based on methodological individualism and rational choice theory. These distinctions have been criticized for amalgamating a variety of contradiction aspects of both network and norms into single categories. A different approach involves the distinction between structural and cognitive dimensions of social capital. It is important to have an appropriate balance of all types of social capital, not just linking with an absence of the other types. Research can found that without linking types of social capital, bonding social capital alone may not be sufficient for community development to occur. Onyx et al. 2007 identified that communities with higher levels of all forms of social capital are more able to mobilize in the face of adversity and less likely to have negative outcomes. Next, we have here the example of social capital, which is an individual level example of social capital. The individual benefits of social capital are often the easiest to observe and for us to understand. Social capital can give us access to tangible and intangible resources, beliefs, productivity, and savings. And this can be any form of capital. At the individual level, social capital is embedded in social relationships. For example, You may borrow tools from your neighbors for odd jobs around your house, and they may borrow items from you. This is called reciprocity, and it is a pattern of behavior that is established through your social relationships and based on trust and respect. The benefits of this example of social capital are obvious. Consider you want to make pancakes for your kids on Sunday morning but discover you have run out of sugar. The nearest shop that is open in 15 kilometers away and cost would be 45 minutes. Instead, you would ask your neighbors for the required sugar if you have a positive relationship with them. The act involves social interaction to strengthen the relationship between neighbors and builds the norms of reciprocity that can be of benefits to both parties in the future. Next is the group level. The individual level example of social capital are also relevant at the group level since individuals interact within a group and from the relationships. The group also develops norms that govern what is accepted and appropriate behavior for your members. This can be social capital where those norms are positive and have productive benefits for group members. The most tangible example of social capital at the group level in the creation of rules of guidelines that provides the basis of behavior and give members the confidence to act to pro-social or collaborative ways. Another example is common language and shared understanding. This creates a sense of shared purpose that also encourage collective actions. Next is the advantage of social capital. The advantage is the social capital. It can be used for manipulative or destructive purposes. While the disadvantages of social capital, many people believe that the success of an organization, whether that's society as a whole or a specific group, depends on the degree of social capital available. This is why social capital has always been linked to positive change, but that's not always true. And that's all. Thank you.